Let's demonstrate the features of the transitional cervical vertebra or the seventh cervical vertebra. This vertebra is called as transitional because the change in vertebral morphology from cervical to thoracic occurs from this vertebra. This is called as vertebra prominence because just compare the spinous process of this with a typical cervical vertebra. A typical cervical vertebra has a short bifid spine, whereas here the spine is elongated. This is the most prominent cervical spine you will feel at the back of the neck, and hence it helps in counting of the ribs posteriorly. So you call this as the vertebra prominence. Now, what are the atypical features of this transitional cervical vertebra? The C7 has a body which is almost similar to that of any typical cervical vertebra, but the difference is in the foramen transversarium. The typical cervical vertebra has those boundaries of foramen transversarium: the anterior root, the anterior tubercle, costotransverse bar, posterior tubercle, and posterior root. Now just observe the foramen transversarium of the C7 vertebra. You don't see such boundaries of the foramen transversarium. The foramen transversarium here allows for the passage of only vertebral veins. Second part of vertebral artery will not pass through this. Again, this is one more entrance related question. What passes through the foramen transversarium of 7th cervical vertebra? Remember, it is just vertebral veins. Vertebral artery will never pass through this. Right? And if you observe, the tip of the transverse process is very prominent. Fine. The tip of the transverse process gives attachment to the suprapleural membrane or Simpson's fascia, which covers the apex of the lungs. Right? These are some of the atypical features of the 7th cervical vertebra.